Hey, boys and girls.
Welcome to Fun with Fractions with Miss Lamus and me, Miss Zimmer.
Miss Zimmer.
Thanks for the introduction.
You're welcome.
All right, so let's get started.
Okay, we're going to talk about fractions. And we're going to, first of all, talk about parts of a whole. Do you know, Miss Zimmer, that this is a whole?
Okay.
And we know it's a whole because it says one whole. But a part of a whole is part or a half of a whole. We can also say part, a fourth of a whole.
So can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do the parts have to be equal?
Oh, yes, they do. Because, as I said, here's a whole and two halves, and you see how they're equal, make the whole. Or we can take those away, and I need my assistant to help me. We can put, if you notice, here is 1, 2, 3, 4. If I take one away, 1/4 of a whole.
And all of them are equal
And
parts.
Absolutely, they equal the same size, even though they're on the floor.
Even though they're on the floor.
I can pick it up
Awesome.
and it will be,
Equal!
ta-da,
Awesome.
equal to this
And this.
and that. Ta-da.
Equal parts. So what does it mean if I wanted to partition a fraction?
Ooh, I bet you can draw a picture.
Okay.
Let's draw a picture.
All right, so if I have let's do a rectangle.
Ooh, that's a beautiful rectangle.
Thank you. And I wanted to partition it, that means the way that you're going to cut it. So for example, if I was going to put it into halves, here would be the partition. If I had a circle, here would be the partition to put it into halves.
So look, that's why it's called halves. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Equal parts partitioned. All right, what about a unit fraction? What is a unit fraction?
Well, again, we have to think of the whole, but a unit fraction, going back to our fourths, is 1 part. So this is 1 unit of the whole.
Okay. Now let me ask you this, Miss Lamos. You're a pretty smart cookie. Do you know what a numerator and a denominator are of a fraction?
I do know this because they are old Latin words. The denominator of a fraction is the lower number because the denominator is the unit or the whole, and it comes from the Latin word of denomination. Denomination or the whole. The numerator comes from the Latin words number. So this is the number that is over the whole, or the numerator, the part of the whole.
Mind-blowing.
Latin. Good to know.
Well, I don't know my Latin, but what I do know is that if you need a trick to remember, you can remember that the denominator is down, and you can remember that because they both start with a D. So down is the denominator. My Latin's not too good, but I know my tricks.
Yep, you got the down. And then the numerator is, get this, tricky.
Not down. So numerator is on the bottom, or excuse me, numerator is on the top, denominator is on the bottom. We hope you had fun with fractions.
Woo!